Welcome back to
Connor doesn't know what a pop filter
is episode. I knew what a pop filter does.
Does he?
Yeah. It's just I might not be using it. Even though it's there, like, aesthetically. But I really want the one that, like, cages the microphone like that.
To be even, you know, just for the aesthetic, because it wouldn't be used for anything.
It's for the aesthetic.
Just so you can, you know, air can it and it'd be fine or something.
Yeah. Holy shit! You reminded me what I need to buy.
He needs to buy air.
I need to buy compressed air.
He needs to buy compressed air.
I have been thinking about, because I'm like, I need to buy something computer related, and I could not remember. Okay, welcome back to a pop filtery compressed air episode of Higurashi.
Yeah. Well, last time we finished
Thumbroski.
Tsumi Horoboshi, which was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good end.
Got a good end.
Canonically.
Sorta,
No, canonically.
Maybe.
Canonically.
Not really.
Canonically.
They all actually still died.
Canonically. Canonically, we had a good ending.
So it seems like we got a lot of answers, right?
Proposed.
Yeah.
Keiichi and Rena got engaged.
Right.
K-Mion fans absolutely fucking suffering right now.
Yeah.
K-Rena fans thriving.
That's okay. Keiichi can have me, Rena. I'll take me on.
Tyler Mion fans, stocks are through the moon right now.
Invest. Buy now. Buy now.
So yes, we got a lot of answers.
About some stuff, but I feel like there's a lot of mysteries left, huh?
Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's like the weird timeline shit.
Yeah, but...
And then there's the weird, like, what actually is Shiro-sama's curse?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Takano's alien suggestion? Is it a parasite? Is it government mind control?
Yeah.
Is it actually a curse? Why did they fill the swamp with concrete?
Interesting, right?
Because they didn't need to do that. So that's not what you do in that
wasteful
scenario.
Government spending like they always do, right?
Yeah, is that money laundering, or is it an
money laundering?
Or is
to pour
it
concrete into a swamp?
Alien, evil doer cover up?
Why did everybody die?
Why did everybody die? How come none of the flora is destroyed or affected?
Yeah, we've got a lot of
Why is
lots of
nothing
questions
like
at the
rusted or like destroyed around?
We got lots of questions at the end of there. We did get a few answers for sure around, you know, Onikakushi and Keiichi and even Watanagashi. We got like the straight answers before.
But we got a lot of answers surrounding the group. Or the club.
The club. Okay.
Right.
But Keiichi and
like Keiichi and Rena and Mion and a little bit of Sadako and like more Rika mystery. But everything else was like, hey, it's going to get a lot weirder. Takano's still best girl.
Still don't know. So we don't know why.
Milfazaki was in this chapter a decent amount. She's a cool character. I like her.
Yeah.
But we still don't know why Takano was killed. Or who killed Takano.
Right.
Because the Sonozakis were like, you really think we would job so hard that
you'd find the body? That was just Mion.
Yeah, but
it was Mion.
You know how much truth there is in that.
She's a little shitter.
You know how much truth there is in that.
Of course I do.
Like, the Zakis wouldn't fucking job that hard, dude. It's not their first dead body they've made. So that brings the question, did the same person that killed Toмотake kill Takano? Because they found both of those bodies.
Yeah, that's been the thing for the series, right? That's been...
And what's the deal with Irie Clinic? Why does Irie kill himself? Right before the Great Hinamizawa disaster.
I haven't done that voice in so... I don't think he's had a...
No, we have not seen him in like 2 games. Like Irie...
Well, he was in Minagoroshi, but...
Oh, fuck, that's right. Yeah, he wasn't in Thumbroski. Ryukishi forgot he existed. And then he remembered right at the very end of the game. And was like, wait, fuck, I can't inject Irie into this. Let's talk about the clinic.
Right.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of shit going on. I'm gonna say...
You got any conjecture, theories, any ideas? Anything you want to put on the table before?
Gonna say Irie is evil.
Idiot's evil.
He's not necessarily evil. I think he's definitely...
You really think the maid man himself?
I'm
Count
saying
Maid? The Count of Maids is evil?
There are bugs in my skin.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying it. I said it in Sumo Horoboshi. I'm saying it again. There are bugs in my skin. They're canon.
Uh-huh.
Full stop.
The bugs are real?
The bugs in my skin are real.
Okay. Let's use our words here. What do you mean by that?
I mean the maggot disease,
Uh-huh.
as Rena calls it, caused by parasites native to the Hinamizawa region, is real. It's not like a psychosis or like a delusion or a parapsychosis or whatever.
Okay.
I'm putting my flag in the ground like I did last game.
You think the maggots in Rena's blood were real?
And I'm saying the maggots in Rena's blood are real. And that there's
there's
unironically...
two things here, right? There's a separation here, right?
Well, there's a separation of is the maggot part real and is it a parasite? Mm-hmm. I think it is a parasite, right?
Okay.
Like, full stop. Less funny option. I think it is a parasite. More funny addition. The maggots are real.
Yeah.
Even
funny.
if Ryukishi knocked on my bedroom door right now to tell me that the maggots are not real, I would laugh in his face and tell him he interpreted the story wrong. That is how unshakable my resolve is.
Well, okay.
But yeah, I think it's a parasite native to the region 100%. And I think Irie is studying it.
Okay.
And doing some shit with it. I still can't tell if the syringe that Rika has is supposed to be like a cure?
Did we get... Well,
Or...
what did she say when she showed the syringe to Rena?
She told Rena it would help her. Mm-hmm. And that it would, like, save her.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
I would assume it's, like, a cure. Okay. But Rika's weird. That could mean, like, it, like, insta-stops her heart.
Could it? Is that something Rika is known to, like, you know, do? Is to lie
Well,
about
she tried to do it to...
Pretend?
To Shion.
Mm-hmm.
And
Forcefully.
she used it in, like, an offensive way on Shion.
Right.
But Shion was also going goofy aha like Rena was. So maybe it's like a demon queller, you know?
Demon queller.
Like when the demon wakes up on the inside
so
of somebody.
So if it's a parasite, what would a shot do to a parasite? Well,
it would kill it.
Sure.
Or nullify the effects of it or whatever.
Sure.
She pulls the tapeworm out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But...
Nothing but gross images come out from that sentence.
That's why you gotta throw it out there.
Uh-huh.
I'll trust Rika for once in my life and immediately regret it. We'll say it's a cure. We'll say it like nullifies or like kills the parasite or reduces the effect of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say Irie the good doctor is studying the effects of the parasite for the goal of learning how to neutralize it. And then he horribly, instantly, awfully fucks up. And it goes terribly wrong, and like the whole region gets killed because of it, and so he just kills himself.
Okay. What about... So you think... Do you think that's what the Great Hinamizawa disaster is?
Well, there was like... Keiichi described a miasma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like an actual
he
miasma?
constantly went on about miasmas during Higurashi, right?
Yeah, but when he's like laying in the river, he describes like a legitimate like fog, doesn't he? Or was he unconscious for all of it?
He was unconscious for all of it, right? And then he woke up, wandered into town. There was no noises. Seemed like all it was too quiet, way too quiet, right?
Yeah, like all the birds and animals
And then he
everything
ran
was
into
gone.
a bunch of people wearing raincoats.
Yeah. Who were the, like, contamination control group or whatever.
Yeah. So the story is, right? The story is that the Great Hinamizawa disaster is a
Volcanic gas leak, basically, out of the Onikafuchi swamp.
that kills everybody in their sleep.
Yeah. But Keiichi lived.
Because he was in the valley where it should have come from. So he technically shouldn't have lived, but he did live, so what does that mean? Why was he alive?
Yeah, he's in the valley, which means the gas concentration would be heavier where he was.
Right.
Meaning he 100% should have died, but then he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And this also circles back into why is Rika, like, being ritualistically sacrificed the night of the Great Hinamizawa disaster.
Right. Before Keiichi falls off the bridge into the valley, he finds Rika...
it's at the shrine grounds, right?
Mm-hmm, right behind the donation box.
Yeah.
A garbage bag behind the donation box. Who would let out a garbage bag? Leave a garbage bag here.
Takano. No, I think... I'm definitely going to say... I don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to say it's not a volcanic gas eruption.
Mm-hmm. That's... When, was Akasaka went to the town 2008 or whatever it was?
Yeah, it was like 20 years, because they quarantined Hinamizawa for like 25 years. Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, this is not how long they quarantine for volcanic gas eruptions. Mm-hmm. Like, the one village they talked about, they quarantined like, what, 4 years or some shit? And then they opened the borders again?
Right, but it could be said that because all the residents of Hinamizawa died, there was nobody to petition for the reopening.
Yeah, for it to be reopened. But I'm gonna say it's not a volcanic gas eruption.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Like, it's back to the core theme of Higurashi, where Ryukishi likes to tell you what it isn't, and not what it is.
Well,
there's okay, you can split hairs, right?
I'm trying to think of what the hints are of telling you what it is.
But
I think there were quite a few during that Akasaka scene.
Yeah, no, the Akasaka scene is like littered with fucking information. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with it's not a volcanic gas eruption. I can conjecture on what it is later, because I don't have the brain power to figure that out right now.
Alright.
Because if it was, Keiichi should have died.
Right.
And Keiichi did not die.
And the journalist talked to him, was like, did you lie about where you were?
Yeah. And he was like...
we watched Keiichi, we believe Keiichi's viewpoint, right? Obviously.
Yeah, I would trust Keiichi's viewpoint during
like,
that
we
time.
know where he was. Maybe he didn't know what a marker was.
Yeah.
But
no, I trust the fact that Keiichi basically got pushed by Sadako.
Yeah, I think he can interpret falling from a bridge correctly.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, I trust Keiichi when he says, I woke up in a river with a broken leg and, like, covered in blood and in gross amounts of pain. Like, yeah. I trust that. Mm-hmm. Because it's kind of hard to interpret, I fell off a bridge and broke my leg and I'm in a gross amount of pain and not be correct.
Right.
Like, it's hard to fuck that one up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's about where I'm at. It's a parasite. It wasn't a volcanic eruption. Irie is heavily related. Just don't know how. And, that's
why do Tomatake and Takano die?
Oh, yeah, why do Tomatake and Takano die?
I think that's, like, maybe the last question I have.
Could be, like, Takano dies because she knows too much. Tomatake dies because he's experimentation.
Do you think Irie is killing them?
I'm gonna say the mountain dogs are.
Okay. All right.
Well,
shout out to that episode I uploaded like A week ago.
Yeah, well, that's because Tomatake has, like, the shit kicked out of him.
Mm-hmm. He seems like he was fighting people with
Bored.
board.
Yeah, so people jump my boy.
2x4.
And then Takano they killed before they, like, set her on fire.
What about, if that's the case, what's that whole deal with the Higurashi scene that I shout out that I just uploaded?
Oh, you're gonna have to. Is Higurashi done uploading yet?
No, we're on part like 20. I split episode 20 into 2 parts, so it's gonna be 20 and 21.
Okay. So does it end after 21?
No, it's we're nowhere near even.
Are you halfway through Higurashi?
It's on that last point where. Let me open up my playlist.
Because I've been waiting to start it. And now that I don't have lacrosse. Oh, yeah. Shout out to I'm retired today.
Oh, yeah. See, I've already uploaded. You can tell. We've had the Takano encounter, right?
Oh, in the car. After. In the car, where it like is heavily implied that Takano killed Tomatake Flash.
She has a bike similar to Tomatake's in her back seat, and she won't let Keiji put... And she's like, the trunk is full or something, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's be funny here.
What's up with that? What does that mean?
Let's be funny here.
Mm-hmm.
Takano...
Good.
Yeah?
I'm getting it.
Takano steals some of the drug that Irie is testing on to try and nullify the parasites, and injects Tomatake with it to see what happens, and it goes horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And he like kills himself.
It goes horribly wrong. They're studying this parasite that makes people go crazy.
Yeah.
And she decides to inject somebody with it, and it goes wrong because he goes crazy.
Because he goes crazy. Sorry, it goes terribly correct. And
then
she's
why
like,
does she die?
She's like, ooh, because Irie kills her.
Then what's
Because he's
with
like, whoa. I'm developing. You can't see I'm finger waggling. I'm developing a cure that was uncool, and sends the mountain dogs after her because she's a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And they light her on fire and put her in a barrel.
But what about the discrepancy with the time of death?
We already fucking argued for like 18 hours about this.
I know. So you think she's actually dead or what?
Yeah, I think she's actually dead. I think that they just fucked up the medical records. And
you think that's Ryukishi gonna say, yeah, they were just wrong?
Yes.
He's just gonna say that?
I don't trust him anymore on anything, man.
What do you mean?
He's the ultimate gaslighter.
Ultimate gaslighter by saying, yeah, I've been saying this the whole time, by the way, and you just didn't realize.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
The ultimate gaslighter.
That's not what gaslighting means.
How do you know that?
What do you mean, how do I know that?
Who taught you?
I did.
Who told you what that word means?
Me.
They were wrong. You were wrong.
I'm pretty sure I'm not.
What's it mean?
Let me pull up the definition of
this bit
gaslight.
Jamie. No,
it means
pull up what gaslighting means.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I don't fucking remember the goddamn definition off the top of my head, but it's when you intentionally tell somebody. It's when you intentionally like confuse somebody so that they like you deny reality. As you did.
Can we call Ryukishi's version water lighting?
Why?
Where he unintentionally gaslights you.
What, like it's an oil spill, so it catches on fire, so that's the accident or something? What are you talking about?
No, it's like, okay, all right. How about petroleum lighting?
This is retarded terminology. You could... Unintentionally lying to you?
Yeah.
You mean just, like, being wrong?
Yeah. Petroleum lighting.
That's just... What?
I'm sorry, I've never heard of accountability before.
What are you, a woman?
Cut that. Cut that.
Hey, it's my channel. I can be sexist if I want to. But, seriously. No.
We spent like an hour arguing about these fucking dental records, man.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
We won't have to spend an hour doing it now, but what does it mean?
There's two options.
Why is it included in the story if it's just wrong?
There's two options.
Like, if a writer is writing something like that into a story, is he a good writer if it actually meant nothing, or is he a bad writer if he actually meant nothing? There's a term for this. I don't know what it is.
Is it better to be born good or to overcome your evil nature through large amount of trials?
Has no relevance.
That's
doesn't matter.
When you asked me, is he a good writer or a bad writer? That's what I heard. I didn't even hear what your question was. So there's two options, right?
So
Takano is alive and it's a fake body. It's not a fake body. It's just somebody else. And she's alive and kicking and doing goofy aha shit. Mm-hmm. Takano is horribly, terribly, instantly fucking incinerated in a barrel, and they're just stupid and idiot fucked up the documents so that it would have her be dead. And that's her in the barrel. Those are the two options.
Okay, so the two okay. See that now you have an explanation for the second option. Which is Irie fucked up Irie messed with the documents.
It's not Ryukishi is wrong.
Yeah. You actually got something here now. I can actually... That's not just being retarded.
He said he actually put oil into that pan. He didn't just let it sit there.
Keiji poured the whole bottle. He didn't let it... He didn't fucking spill it. He poured the whole bottle in there. So
it's intentional.
I don't know how the fuck to connect these things, but...
But yeah. Well, because it follows in the line of, like, Takano is medically malpracticing with the goofy aha syringe. So
yeah, just tell me what you think. You got your two options, right? So that's
yeah.
Like...
I like to think, because I'm a Connor X Takano believer, that Takano is alive and well.
Connor X Takano stocks and I have not moved in the past 5 years.
It has remained at $0 its entire lifespan. It has neither increased or decreased in price. Yes, I would like to believe that Takano just killed somebody else and threw them in the barrel.
Okay.
And
you would like to believe you think that's what happened?
Yeah.
So she faked her. You think she faked her death?
I think she.
Another body.
Takano's the type of fucking motherfucker that listens to true crime podcasts 24/7 and LARPs them. So, yeah, I think she faked her own death.
I think she listens to conspiracy theories. She doesn't really care about true crime.
Yeah.
She listens to Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Takano...
Alex Jones.
Takano's the type of motherfucker to,
What's that guy? What's the comedian guy that started the podcast? All of them?
Bill Burr.
No, not Bill Burr. Bill Burr doesn't. He shits on people. I mean, like,
there's a lot of comedian podcasts.
I know. I know.
I heard you say all of, I heard you say all of them, and I was like, he's not wrong.
The one that became a conspiracy theorist. All of them?
Yeah.
I don't know what he's done, so I can't, like, reference him. I just know...
Bill Burr?
He talks weird. It's all of them.
Local man has not said a single describer word for anything he's talking about yet.
All of his traits are shared by all of his colleagues. It's not my fault that he's the same as all of his fucking buddies. Everybody around him. It's not my fault that they're all stereotypically stupid.
Is it a white guy?
Yeah.
All of them?
As far as I know.
Does he have a beard?
I don't think so.
The majority of them?
I mean, I don't fucking know.
Doesn't matter. Tyler in Post will figure it out.
No, I won't. I just don't know his name.
4 years from now, Tyler in Post will figure it out. I believe in him. You think the Ukrainian-Russian war will be relevant by the time this video comes out?
Probably. I looked at my watch like that. Probably.
This video releases and the comments are like, boomer humor. Because it just doesn't matter.
Yeah,
anymore.
and you're going to be the one typing the comment.
Yeah, it's going to be me.
Alright, okay.
Future Tyler editing note. I was gonna say make sure to show my comment on this video, but it would have to release before I comment on
yeah, I don't know what I'll pin it. Which won't be necessary because it'll be the only one.
It'll be the only one. Yeah. Maybe James will comment on this video.
Maybe.
Hey James, can you comment boomer humor on this video as well?
Yeah, make sure it's all caps.
All caps.
15 exclamation points, maybe one.
Yep.
A few of them are like a 1.
Yeah, can you put zeros for the O's as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But make it Zoomer humor because we're Zoomers.
Zoomies go zoom!
Okay,
I think we can officially start Minagoroshi.
Minagoroshi?
Oh fuck, I said it wrong.
Minagoroshi.
Oh.
Because it's
Minagoroshi.
Because it's the massacre chapter.
Oh. Like...
Minagoroshi. Minagoroshi, the final truth.
That's not true. There's 2 more games.
1 more game.
Oh.
This is 7. Well, there's 2 more games. I'm gonna make you do.
Because there's Ray.
Yeah.
Like from Evangelion?
Why are you laughing at that? You crack yourself up.
Because it was one of those things I was gonna say, and I'm like, Connor, this isn't funny. Don't say this. And then I just kept saying it.
He's laughing because it's not funny, which makes it funny.
Yes.
And the massacre chapter. The story introduces the unit inside and out, using all the actors. This is no longer a story. It's a public autopsy for all to join. As they say, after loving someone, cut open their belly and eat their organs.
Who says that, man?
It's the same with stories. The difficulty is quite mild, well suited for those with pride.
Who the fuck says that?
Do you have pride, Connor?
No.
Okay.
I made an Evangelion joke, man.
Oh.
Was that the right audio?
I think so.
Is this right?
We got a new track.
Okay. Get the mouse.
We're in,
I'm gonna kill myself.
Where are we?
We're in space. We're in space.
We're
The
in
final
orb.
frontier.
Shut up.
Who's reading?
Who do you think's reading?
Keiji?
No.
Damn it. Rika?
Maybe?
Is it Gorp Rika? Oh, hell yeah.
Alright, buddy.
Okay, alright, Gorp.
Are you ready to step out of the protagonist role?
What?
Protagonist role? Oh my god.
I
thought I was hitting your wheel.
No, I'm squeezed in here, big man.
Connor's like the guy from the Wild West movie, where he's just, instead of the robot legs, he's got wheels.
This is in reference to the chair that I'm sitting in.
No, that's
not my physical body.
No, that's your physical body.
Okay.
You got wheels. Alright, enough.
This has been a terrible chat. Don't wake up at 7 anymore.
Why not? I feel great. I feel the best I've ever felt. Hey.
Dog shit start to the chapter.
I'm not tired out of my mind.
An absolute shitpost fest of a beginning.
Listen, I only started shitposting after 25 minutes of actually talking, and you trying to shitpost the entire time.
That's all I know how to do.
Alright.
Captain Kirk.
Can we stop being the same person?
It's the fact that we've been recording for how long?
I don't know.
Like 2 years?
Even when after I get all the edits done, there's gonna be missing minutes and shit. We've been recording for a long time.
We recorded like 8 hours. No, it was 6.5 or 7 hours when you were here last week.
Yeah, it was great.
That's like a third of the day.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great. I fucking agree.
Right, now,
yes, I trust.
I gotta get into the voice of Gorp Rika.
Yes.
What are you doing?
What are you doing, step bro?
I don't see you playing by yourself that often. All you could do before was nod to my questions. Since when do you have your own will? I'm glad. I finally have a sister, or a brother. Whichever you are.
Is this Rika just talking to the player directly? Okay.
I don't know. I used to be an existence of nothingness, just like you. But one day, I began to have my own identity, my own thoughts, and eventually my own body. So it's not a surprise to see you in possession of your own will. Welcome to this vast yet tiny world, my sister. You might be my brother, but let me call you my sister until I know for sure. This is an endless, eternal, and infinite world, but that doesn't mean it's boundlessly vast. I suppose you could describe it like a ring with a small diameter. While the ring is an eternal, endlessly looping world, that doesn't mean it contains infinite space. Yes, in short, this world is eternally sealed. The future is supposed to be an infinite weave of countless choices. Yet for whatever reason, our world always ends in death. If I were to compare it to something, perhaps a maze of fate would be appropriate. Looping through the same moments forever, steadily growing harder and more dejecting, eventually producing something like me. Then, as that draws further on, even one like you is born, and eventually this world may be filled with your sisters too.
I can't believe when I called this game Groundhog Day to be funny, I was right. Get fucked, haters.
After that, we'll build a colony inside of it, and once we lose our interest in this maze, Rika Furude will disappear from this world. It looks like you still cling to this narrow world, Rika, though I lost interest long ago. Which is why I'm truly glad you were born for me to talk to. So, what are you doing? Are you collecting fragments of memory? What is that, Connor?
Did the sprites change? I was really hoping if you hit P, the sprites change.
They don't. I thought there was a special effect on this, but it might not show up for a minute. Yeah, it's all normal.
So this is just the meta chapter.
Yeah?
That's the other games.
Oh.
I see Keiichi. There's Keiichi, there's Oishi, there's color palette change. Sadako, I think. No, Sadako's right there. Mion's right here. Rena's right there.
What? Who
Tomotake
is that?
Flash is over there.
Is that
Rika's right there.
Rika really big?
Yeah, really big Rika is right there. Rena's over there in that corner.
Well, that's Sadako. It's Rika and Sadako next to each other on that bottom right one.
Who is the color palette one?
The red and purple?
Yeah, who's the like inverted color palette girl?
Is it not Rika in the Shrine Maiden uniform?
No, it looks like I think that's Sadako.
Yeah, but the rest of the image isn't like it's not like it's negative.
Is the rest of the image not negative?
I don't think so. I can't tell.
I'm gonna say it's negative Sadako.
Okay.
Because the dress on the sprite looks like Sadako's dress. And they have the little, like, necktie, bow tie thingy.
Are you collecting fragments of memory? There's only 5 or 6 of them right now. It must still be fun for you, though. There used to be more fragments, long ago. But one by one, they disappeared into the darkness. Now, these are the only ones that remain clear. Oh, that's not how you're supposed to use it. See? Try and hold it up to the light. All of that is the life of Rika Furude and its end.
Epic.
That one is... Oh, I remember that one. That's the world when Keiichi when Keiichi was cursed. Those fragments are like books to me, so I titled that one the Onikakushi chapter.
So this is just the meta chapter. Okay.
Do you remember what happened in that one?
No, Ryukishi.
Good. That makes things easier. It's angry Keiichi.
I hate Keiichi. He's ugly. Kill him. Kill him. Why do you give him like goth eyeliner, man?
In Onikakushi, Keiichi Maebara was consumed by the darkness. He couldn't accept the kind words his friends offered him and eventually beat them to death, not knowing of their kindness. We were all killed after that anyway. That had nothing to do with the story, though. That fragment is the Watanagashi chapter.
Let me guess, where Shion went goofy aha?
Shion Sonozaki was cursed in that one.
How did I know?
She killed many people out of revenge for her boyfriend's disappearance, as he went missing in 1982.
Excuse me, Ryukishi, he was not her boyfriend?
Says who?
Says I.
Rika worked so hard, but she was captured at the end, and she was tortured to death. That's why she chose to commit suicide in the Minagoroshi chapter, because things were going to turn out the same way. That's interesting, huh?
That Minagoroshi and Watanagashi are separate chapters?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. Like, unironically, that is very interesting. I thought it was just different POV.
Right?
Okay. Let him cook.
That fragment over there is called the Higurashi chapter. Sadako's uncle came back and locked her up inside her house. That was the worst world of all. There was nothing Rika was able to do in that world. Whenever Sadako's uncle came back, Rika usually just gives up on that world. Fortunately, Sadako's uncle doesn't come back that frequently. That one's called the Sumihoroboshi chapter. He was there until just a moment ago.
Yeah, I was gonna assume this was like the most recent of the timeline.
Rena Ryugu was possessed in that world. It was pretty exciting to see her take over the whole school.
Possessed. That's interesting. Keiichi and Shion were cursed, and Rena is possessed.
Yeah. It surprised me to learn that Keiichi Maibara had a memory of the other worlds, just like we do. It was pretty amazing, but then again, most of us have some kind of memory like that. We all have an imaginary world within us, some idea of what would have happened if you did things differently. It's like the strange feeling you get when you do something for the first time, but it feels like you've done it before.
Deja vu?
Whoa.
Wow.
Everyone has a memory of an imaginary world in their mind, but the memory is not always that clear. It's not surprising, really. You are special enough to be able to see those fragments of memory. It's probably very difficult for you to understand how special you really are. You were born into a world where it's a natural thing for you to see these fragments. I was originally born in the normal world. I didn't know until recently that I could collect these fragments of memory. You grabbed those fragments just because you could, but I didn't know how to do that for a long time. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're not interested in hearing my story. Huh? What's wrong? What are you curious about? Oh? You're curious as to why so many different incidents occur in the same world. It's very interesting, isn't it?
I feel like this is like I'm listening to one of those ASMR videos I'm supposed to be replying to.
Yeah.
Like
fuck you.
Like now that you have that frame of reference, just keep reading. You'll see
And the
exactly
voice I'm
what
doing,
that's
that's
great.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm just not close. I'll stay far away from the mic from now on.
He said, "I'm doing all my readings from back here."
I ain't adding to the library of ASMR. Why do you think that's the case? Let's think about it together. Thinking is the first step towards playing a game.
I love you, Keiichi.
The main character among Rika's group of friends is Keiichi Maibara.
No.
In Onikakushi, he was possessed by suspicion and killed. Hey, look, he said
Possessed again.
Yeah. He was possessed by suspicion and killed Ren Ryugu and Miyan Sonosaki.
No.
If that was an inevitable event, he would be killing them in every world. In other words, what Keiichi Maibara did in Onikakushi was not inevitable.
Yep.
Indeed. The only thing that's inevitable is Keiichi Maibara's role. If Keiichi Maibara was someone with a naturally suspicious heart, he would take the same actions in every world. But that didn't happen.
His guaranteed role is the protagonist.
It's true that Keiichi Maibara is both passionate and easily convinced of anything.
but it's rare for him to exhibit the kind of rage displayed in Onikakushi. In other words, even though something might seem inevitable in one world, that may not be the case if you compare it to a different one. If something really is inevitable, it will happen for sure in every life. That's what true inevitability is like. It's very important that you know that. When you compare the different worlds, what's common among all of them is the truth. Understand?
Thank you, Ryukishi.
Like I said, what seems inevitable in one life could just be a random event in another. The club activities that Mian Sonozaki suggests are a good example. If Mian Sonozaki had a strong inclination toward playing certain games, you would be playing them in every world. But in reality, you participate in different activities in most of them. That means the games they play in the club are randomly decided by Mian Sonozaki. We know that now because we've been through many different lives. Those who only live in one world can't see if the event in question is inevitable or random. Those who only live once can't predict what's going on in Mian Sonozaki's mind, but we can. Although the activities are random, Mian Sonozaki calls us together for the club meeting almost every day in every life. I can see that Mian Sonozaki holds a strong will towards having the club meeting. Mian Sonozaki always wants to play with the other club members, but she doesn't know what to play. See? We can read Mian Sonozaki's mind by just simply examining these fragments. With this alone, we can see part of who Mian Sonozaki really is. Let me talk a bit more about Keiichi Maebara. For those who only live once, the world of the Onikakushi chapter is nothing but a story where Keiichi suffered mysterious hallucinations and beat his friends to death. For them, nothing beyond that is fact. We, however, can compare different fragments and find out something that they could never see. As a result, we know that the murder of his friends was not inevitable. I told you that just earlier. In fact, while there are about 5 or 6 pieces in front of you, he only kills his friends in one of them. That means we can roughly conclude that the possibility Keiichi Maebara triggers the tragedy is less than 20%, and it's almost a fluke. That means that amongst the countless worlds, Keiichi Maebara causing the tragedy is an unimportant factor.
See, I was gonna go with Keiichi grows as the games go on, because he kinda does, but I guess it's a fluke.
What you're seeing as growth is character development.
Yeah.
You're seeing the character that Keiichi is.
Yeah.
More of his character rather than
a
growth of his character.
That makes sense.
Now, can you see the common thread to be drawn from here? My, you've found it already.
Sure.
No wonder you were born in this world. You're quick to learn the knack for playing with building blocks.
Thanks.
I didn't figure that out for a while. I was born in the normal world, so I could only see things from a single world's perspective. I was too obsessed with the fact that Keiichi Maebara caused the tragedy, so I had trouble finding it. Right, that's exactly right. You see it? The Onikakushi, Utanagashi, Meakashi, and Sumo Horoboshi chapters all have something in common. Someone in the group becomes violent because of dark and paranoid thoughts.
We talked about that in Meakashi.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
I haven't edited that. I'm far away from editing that.
Yeah, no, we talked about this in Meikashi because that's when I brought up, like, the third footstep is, like, a psychological projection.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm on track.
In each world, either Keiichi Maebara,
Shion
Sonozaki,
or Rena Ryugu,
become violent as their delusions grew stronger. Keiichi Maebara, Shion Sonozaki, and Rena Ryugu are all my closest friends, but they were all born and raised differently.
And
the only common factor is that they all live in Hinamizawa.
And they all hear the footstep, like Satoshi.
I just said it not too long ago, though.
And Tomasake.
When we peer through these fragments of multiple worlds, the constant phenomena become our facts, and the chance phenomena hold little meaning. In other words, the unrelated individual culprits are not at all important. To go further, the violence of their crimes also bears no meaning. Keiichi Maebara beat his friends to death. Shion Sonozaki killed the central people of the three families, and Rena Ryugu took over the school. They were all different. There's nothing in common there. In fact, the very, very important truth is that while the culprit and the crimes are decided at random, their process of growing paranoid until they resort to violence is always consistent.
Mm-hmm.
The suspect changes every time, but the process does not. After comparing the different worlds, this is the truth I found.
Yeah, because you just start going goofy, aha. The footstep shows up, the paranoia shows up, the distrust shows up, the violence shows up.
This is one truth that is common to all the worlds of Hinamizawa. The rule is that a random person becomes violent under the influence of paranoid thoughts. This is Rule X. Keiichi Maebara, Shion Sonozaki, and Rena Ryugu. Pieces with no particular connection have the potential to succumb to that rule with random probability.
What's the Rule X, Connor?
The Rule X
Yeah.
is that people go crazy and kill people due to paranoid thoughts.
There you go. Cool.
I was paying attention.
Just reinforcing that
I'm
because
paying
it'll be brought up
attention,
again.
yeah.
And when I
I
read through this, I completely didn't memorize it.
You just went, being told the rules of how the universe works. Garbage. Unnecessary information. I was hoping that Rule Y would be the next three characters, but it was not.
I don't know what the probability is that those pieces will be ensnared by that rule. Perhaps there is some rule to that too. Is it because these three are all close in age? Or is it because they all live in Hinamizawa? Well, we're not detectives or police officers. This is not something a small girl like us, Rika Furude, can easily figure out.
I mean, I would assume it's because don't they all have histories of violence?
Yes.
Yeah.
But for Shion, it was the dam.
Yep.
For Keiichi,
It was the school.
stress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rena
Rena.
was the curse or whatever.
Right. What's the word for a disease coming back? Like cancer coming back? I don't know.
Oh, fuck, I had it. Relapse.
Yeah. It seems like Rena relapses, right?
Yeah. But yeah, at least all three have like a history of violence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I'm glad I'm like paying attention slightly. Then they'll hear the footstep, yada yada yada, but the footstep shows up once they start going paranoid and get weird.
Mm-hmm.
At least we now know that there's a mysterious rule in the world of Hinamizawa. People who only live in one world have no way of knowing that. I'm proud of myself for figuring that out. I guess for you it's not particularly surprising though. Huh? What did you say? That's right. If something is coming among all worlds, that means it's fated to happen. Some events quickly come to mind, don't they? Right. Jiro Tomatake and Miyo Takano are always killed in those worlds.
Flash.
He got too immersed.
On top of that,
Yep.
they are murdered in exactly the same way in every world. In other words, unlike our previous rule, with its variability, their murders are thoroughly planned out by someone with a strong will. So that does not fit with the mysterious, vague Rule X that leads to a random individual to violence. After all, they are always murdered regardless of who falls to Rule X.
We call this shit Rule Flash.
Therefore, there's another rule to these worlds. A rule that says Jiro Tomatake
Flash.
and Miyo Takano will get killed on the night of a Tanagashi. Let's call it Rule Y.
Flash.
Rule Flash.
It's Rule Flash.
It's Rule Flash.
You have Rule Footstep and Rule Flash.
Sorry, I had to refresh my streaks because I did them at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we have roll footstep and roll flash.
Yeah.
Fuck what Ryukishi calls
them.
them.
I'm actually fucking remembering them.
That's what I'm saying. You have roll footstep and you have roll flash.
Don't you see how funny this is? Jiro Tomatake
Flash.
and Mio Takano are killed in every world, right? Every time. I have now differentiated Mio Takano's and Rika Gorp Rika voice. It's low and high.
I'm so proud of you.
Every time the character who gets cursed always thinks that their deaths have something to do with the danger that's awaiting them.
As Cap.
The fact that someone turns violent, roll X.
Roll footstep.
And Jiro Tomatake and Mio
Flash.
Takano's deaths, roll Y,
Flash.
are supposed to be two independent rules. But they all tend to link them together. Of course, one could say that's how they become ensnared in the spell of paranoia, leading them to violence to begin with. But do you think, in their paranoia, that they notice someone is trying to lead them to link those rules together? Yes.
Oishi.
Whoever the piece leading them is, they are the one making this stage called Hinamizawa very complicated.
Is Oishi actually the ultimate villain in this series? Because I know we talk about that like the very, 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 very beginning, where Rena is like, how come Oishi is Oyashiro-sama's agent of destruction, and every time he shows up, something like this happens?
Yeah.
God, I hope Oishi is the ultimate villain in this series. Holy shit.
You should have noticed at least two suspicious people.
Oishi and Takano.
Do you know who I'm talking about? That's right.
I'm paying attention almost.
He's done it. He's done it,
I'm
fellas.
actually paying attention to the fucking game.
That's right. I'm referring to Kurado Oishi and Mio Takano.
What if I said idiot? You just like backhanded me?
Yeah. Yeah. When you compare our previous fragments, the role of the piece known as Kurado Oishi becomes clear. He's a detective who is retiring this year, and he's in a hurry to solve the mystery of the series of deaths in Hinamizawa.
So he believes anything.
After he retires, he'll have to move away from the village. That's why he's desperate to solve this case before he has to leave Hinamizawa. Why is he so obsessed with the serial murders in Hinamizawa? That's right.
Because his friend was murdered.
It's because of the first murder involving the manager of the construction site. The victim was Oishi's close friend. You'll see that if you look at the Himatsubushi chapter.
I'm pretty proud of myself. Nothing I've read so far has been like, oh wow, I didn't know that, except for all of the worlds are different. That's the only thing.
Yeah, the Watanagashi and Mayakashi chat being different, that's something I forgot about.
Which, like, you get suspicions of that in in Sumo Horoboshi, when it starts alternating from, it's not like Tatanagoroshi or Onikakushi, it becomes its own thing, so you can kind of start getting that idea that it's different. But that is, like, the only thing they've said so far where I've been like, oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
Is that Watanagashi Mayakashi is not, like, a change of POV. It is literally different worlds.
Right.
Oishi was there when the dam conflict was at its peak. He saw how the Sonozaki family took control of the Onikafuchi Guardians, and he believed that the Sonozaki family was pulling the strings behind the whole incident.
Nope.
That's why he always suspected that the Sonozaki family was behind the series of mysterious deaths, regardless of the evidence or lack thereof. His personal, biased belief, combined with his credibility as a police detective, affected the pitiable victims of persecution complexes in each world. As a result, the pitiful victims of Rule X come to accept the Sonozaki family as the identity of the unknown force their paranoia seeks. Shien Sonozaki's case was the most conspicuous one of that matter.
Yep.
So yes, if this piece, Oishi, didn't intervene, then perhaps the victims of Rule X wouldn't have resorted to such violence.
I'm waiting for Rule Z.
The role his piece plays is to indirectly cause the tragedy. I don't know who named him this, but Oyashiro-sama's servant is the perfect nickname for Oishi.
I know who named him that. It's Rena! In the first chapter of the game! I also brought that up before we got here.
The other suspicious person is Mio Takano.
Remember when I said that thing about Takano brings disaster with her, whether she wants to or not?
One would assume the only role of her piece is to amuse herself with research into Onikafuchi's dreadful history, and to take pleasure in scarring others with those tales. However, just like Oishi, she also gives them the idea that the Sonozaki family is behind all the mysterious incidents that happen in the village.
Yep.
She interfered with the most with Rina Ryugu. For Mio Takano, Rina Ryugu was the perfect prey, grasping at straws to try and identify the force she suspected. Ironically, however, Mio Takano always ends up getting killed at the end. If she had survived and seen Rina take over the school, she would have laughed long and loud.
Best girl?
Now, have you realized that these two pieces and the roles they fill have their own rule too?
Yeah, it's called Rule Gaslight.
They talk about the Sonozaki family, and the listeners always believe them. This is Rule Z, and what a humorous rule that it is.
Footstep, flash, gaslight.
You should already have an answer to this mystery, and your fragments on hand. The fact is that the Sonozaki family always acts as if they are responsible, no matter if they are or not.
Yep.
They always pretend to be the villains in order to make sure that people continue to fear them.
Gilded.
As a result, the villagers have believed that the Sonozaki family has been pulling the strings ever since the damn conflict ended.
Oh, actually, it'd be Puppet. My bad.
Kurauda Oishi and Mio Takano were simply fooled by that rule. Actually, the whole village was fooled by it. Still, the more I think about it, the stranger the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa seems to me. Do you know why? Nearly all of the fragments of memory we have here are from 1983.
Except for Himatsubushi.
So I have no idea about the incidents from 1980 to 1982. But it's likely that interpreting those murders as serial is simply a result of falling victim to Rule Z, believing that the Sonozaki family is pulling the string behind everything. In short, they may be trying to conflate those multiple crimes, which each happened for different reasons, into one big case. Well, I have no way of discerning the truth from the fragments here. Still, perhaps something lies in one of them. Each case was supposed to have been solved individually, after all. We don't know if that theory is sound or irrational, but it might surprisingly be an element we can't ignore. That reminds me. Shion said something intriguing. Shion said something intriguing in the Minagoroshi chapter. That curse system she came up with.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Her theory was that the villagers believe that they are allowed to kill an enemy of the village on the night of Watanagashi in the name of Oyashiro-sama's curse, and that this foundation of murder is allowed on that night alone is the identity of the curse, true identity of the curse. Since most of the fragments here are from 1983, there's nothing to back the validity of Shion's theory, but there are still interesting things about it.
Yeah, it's purge theory.
In other words, her theory is that the suspect is not the one who's committing the crime. It's the environment that's causing the murder. People in a single world tend to analyze a criminal's life to determine the process that led him to the crime. But her idea is different. The real crime is committed not by the criminals, but by the environment. In other words, it may only be happenstance that Robber A committed the crime, and that the environment of poverty may have created Robber B instead, or perhaps even Robber C. A may not even be a criminal in another world. Therefore, the real criminal is not A, but the environment that creates A, B, or C. While people in a single world may be able to reach such an idea, the widespread desire to place blame commonly causes A to be lynched by society, while the environment that gives rise to A goes ignored.
Ryukishi really said nature versus nurture.
Did I confuse you? I'm sorry. Perhaps that example was actually hard to understand for you. It's easy for me to see it like that because I'm from the normal world. Let me make it simple for you. The culprit behind the tragedy in many worlds isn't individuals like Keiichi Maebara or Shion Sonozaki, but the environment. So, Rule X is the true culprit at fault. You're earning good marks if you can grasp that, even if we don't know the identity of Rule X.
X, Y, and Z. X is footstep.
Footstep, gaslight, flash. Well,
Flash.
it's footstep, flash, gaslight.
Footstep, flash, gaslight.
Yeah.
And if you can grasp the 3 rules governing this stage called Hinamizawa, rules X, Y, and Z, then you're earning very good marks. As so long as you understand those rules, then even if this is your first experienced world, you should easily find the truth without distraction.
Ryukishi really said, "What if you didn't eat breakfast yesterday?"
Shut up.
That's what he's saying, man.
See?
Motherfucker said, "Can you grasp the concept of hypotheticals?" Shit. Starts with a C.
It's not contextual.
No. Conditionals.
Conditional hypotheticals.
Yeah.
See? Isn't it fun? Merely 3 simple rules are interacting with on this stage, creating a kaleidoscope of different worlds. This is probably a very unusual case. In other locations, you shouldn't be able to see such an extreme variation, even after looping through several worlds. It keeps me entertained just staying here and watching these worlds revolve. Anyway, there's one more fact we can understand from these fragments of worlds. This is the biggest problem we, Rika Furudes, are facing. The fact that Rika Furude always dies
I was
each
gonna
time.
say, the fact that you get gutted like a fish at the end of every game.
It's as if June 1983 is a dead end for her. Worse, there's no randomness to it. It's guaranteed to happen. In other words, it's the same pattern as the deaths of Jiro Tamatake
Flash.
and Mio Takano. It's following the same exact same rule. Rule Y.
Flash.
Tamatake Jiro
Flash.
and Takano Mio are always murdered on the night of Otanagashi. Furude Rika's date of death is not always the same, but she's always dead by the middle of June. Jiro Tamatake
Flash.
and Mio Takano are probably attacked on their way home. So that's why it always happens on the same night. But for Rika Furude, it's different. She takes different actions in every world, and her lifestyle is very unpredictable. For that reason, the day of her death is not always the same. However, she always dies in June, because a similar powerful conviction vows to kill her too. So can we assume that the same rule Y, killing them, is also the rule behind her death? Is it the same person killing all 3 of them?
No. I think it's someone different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm gonna say that Rule Rule Flash happens because of being in Hinamizawa and the environment, and that somebody just wants to really fucking kill Rika every single time.
Okay. I don't know if it's the same. If it's the same. But who?
I'm gonna say, who would gut Rika like a fish? That has a motive.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think on that.
I don't know if it's the same person, but it's highly likely the same rule is at work. Is it the same person, or is it the same organization? Is it the same views, the same goals? Rika's most important goal is to escape her deadly fate, but it doesn't mean that she just wants to leave the village and survive. She wants to live happily in the village. All of her friends must also be happy too. That's Rika's happy future, the ideal future she hopes for. It's tragic that we can't realize such a simple desire, no matter how many times we repeat this. Though, it's a tragedy we're only able to perceive. It's a tragedy we're only able to perceive because we are beings capable of comparing the fragments from different worlds. By the way, I have some interesting information. While Rika is almost always killed by Rule Y, have you noticed that she's killed by Rule X in some worlds?
She gets killed by Shion.
Shion. Right. It happened in Otanagashi and Mayakashi chapters. Rika Furude committed suicide, but you can say she was more or less killed by Rule X via Shion Sonozaki in those worlds. In other words, this is a blunder for Rule Y. Rule Y is trying to kill Rika with a strong desire to achieve some aim.
I'm telling you, I don't think they're related. I don't think Rule Y is related to this.
But she was killed before that, as a result of her unrelated Rule X. That might have caused them to show some disturbance. If Rule Y's objective was to simply bury Rika, then that's not a problem. But if they have some objective beyond that, then that might show up as some other phenomenon. Perhaps the Watanagashi and Mayakashi chapters have something in common. Something that doesn't happen in other worlds. Unfortunately, we're Rika Furude, so we don't know what happens after Rika is dead. Or, by any chance, do you know what happened? Since I'm Rika Furude, I only know of events during Rika's life. You, on the other hand, are a special existence who was born in a superior world. Is there anything that doesn't happen in the Watanagashi and Mayakashi chapters that happened in all the other worlds after Rika's death?
It's the gas disaster, isn't it?
Great Hinamizawa disaster?
Yeah. Because I was going to say that we don't learn about that until Tatanagoroshi.
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't happen in Mayakashi. So it doesn't happen in Watanagashi
Keiichi
and
survives
Mayakashi.
for quite a long time in Watanagashi, right?
Which then would spiral into the hypothetical that the person that is ritualistically sacrificing Rika at the end of every game is causing the Great Hinamizawa disaster. Creating the new rule of go big mode, where their goal is to gut Rika like a Bass Pro Shop fish and kill every motherfucker in the village with it.
Do they sell fish at Bass Pro Shop?
Yeah.
They sell fish there?
Yeah. They sell like fishing gear and shit.
They sell fishing gear. They don't sell fish. They sell
Yeah.
fish at it.
No, they do at the Great Pyramid.
Oh, okay.
I've
never been to the Great Pyramid of Tennessee.
Yeah, it's the mecca of all fishermen. See, I'm paying attention. I'm gaming.
If you know anything, then that must be another truth behind Rule Y. The memories I have here are all mainly about the chaos brought about by Rika's friends. That is Rule X. But its foundation, Rule Z, and the obvious hostility common among all worlds, Rule Y, are what I believe to be the true rules governing the stage. If so, then Rika's path is a thorny one. She needs to fight Rule Y in order to survive. Unless she defeats it, she has no future past June 1983. And to win her happiness, she must also beat Rule X to win her friend's safety. So long as that's undefeated, one of Rika's precious friends may be led to tragedy. If that happens, then even should Rika survive, she wouldn't have the happy future she hopes for.
Yeah, but Rule X gets beat in... So Rule Y is beat in Watanagashi and Mayakashi. And Rule X is beat in Sumahoraboshi. I'm trying to think of when Rule Z is beat, but I don't think we've seen a game where that's been beat yet.
Z is,
Gaslight. Which is where Oishi or Takano start the whole Sonozaki.
Well, we kind of saw it last chapter, right? With
I guess
Keiichi, with Mion convincing Keiichi that Takano's full of shit, right?
Yeah, okay. I guess if you count that, then. Because I kind of threw that under defeating X, which is like the paranoia spiraling into that. But I guess
we also did with Brenna coming back, stopping paranoid by fighting Keiji to the death.
Yeah,
and not to the death.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We beat X in Sumo Horoboshi, and then Y is beat in Watanagashi and Meiyakashi. That is because it's.
What, rule Y? Okay. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Footsteps. Mm-hmm. Roll X.
Paranoia.
Yep, that's paranoia. Oh, actually,
Y.
no. Sorry.
Yeah,
we haven't beat Y.
I
mean Z. Yeah. Because Y is Flash, and then Z is Gaslight. Mm-hmm. So we've beat Rule X in Sumo Horoboshi and Rule Z in Sumo Horoboshi.
We have never seen Rule X.
We've never seen
Rule X be defeated.
Y be defeated.
Rule Y defeated.
Yeah. We've seen Footstep get beat, and we've seen Gaslight get beat, but we have not seen Flash be beat.
Is Rule X really beat if Rena still kills Rina and Tepe? Kinda. A little bit. Tiny bit. A smidgen. Kinda, sorta, not really, kinda, maybe not, no.
No.
Maybe not.
No.
Yeah. But we saw, well, it gets credit.
It gets credit, but we haven't seen X be fully defeated then.
Yeah.
Because Rena kills someone, Shion kills people, and Keiichi kills people.
She may also have to defeat Rule Z, just as Shion Sonozaki faced in Meiyakashi. So long as Rule Z remains, then even if she escapes 1983, it's possible another tragedy may lie awaiting in 1984. It's extremely likely that Rule Z is the breeding ground for Rule X. Hinamizawa's fundamental belief that the Sonozaki family is behind everything, and the custom that anything can be misconstrued as the curse, may indirectly be the root of all evil here. People are not surprised to see somebody die on the night of Tanagashi. That type of thinking is keeping the curse alive in Hinamizawa, where it causes even more tragedy. It's Rule Z reinforcing itself. Rules X, Y, and Z. There are 3 rules that hunt Rika down in the eternal June of 1983. They are all tough obstacles. We didn't even figure out these 3 common rules until recently. Were you aware of them? If you were, I'll give you straight A's.
Thanks, Rika.
I've tried so hard in the past to break these rules.
I like how you started talking to Rika and not Ryukishi.
Yeah. No, see, I told you, ASMR. It's the ASMR effect. I told you.
I've tried so hard in the past to break these rules, but I was never successful. However, a miracle happened in the Tsumi Horoboshi chapter.
Yeah, because you need fucking the boys to break the rules. You can't do them on your own.
Keiichi Maebara was able to recognize a small fragment from another world by chance, and he beat Rule X. In the end, Rika was still killed that night by Rule Y, though.
See, the game said he beat Rule X.
Yes, paranoia. He beat He beat his and Rena's.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT.
He is.
But still, one rule was defeated. That was a huge leap forward. Rika knew that there were 3 common rules among the worlds, but she could never break any of them. Eventually, she gave up and lost interest in the worlds. That's how I was born. However, she's different now. She learned something valuable from Keiichi Maebara. That the rules can be broken with a strong enough will to fight. If she can break all 3 rules, Rika Furude will be freed from her eternal prison. She doesn't have much time left, though. Rika has traveled through many worlds. Her physical lifespan is not a problem, but her mental lifespan is getting shorter. Mentally, she is extremely old, and her soul is starting to turn into something different. In the end, she'll probably lose the ability to experience singular worlds. She's already showing those signs, and eventually her memories from the parallel worlds will mix together, ultimately causing her derangement and the loss of Rika Furude's soul.
Vol?
Then she will disappear. That means that you and I are going to be left in this dark world. the fragments of our memories will gradually disappear, and we will be left alone in the eternal darkness. Eventually, we will die. Rika Furude is aware of that. She knows that her mental lifespan is getting shorter and shorter. Hanyu is also losing her powers.
Hanyu!
She can't rewind through the years of time like she used to.
Who's Hanyu, Connor?
Hanyu!
Her power has decreased so much that she can barely rewind 1 month at a time. 1 month of time.
Is that... Oh yeah, Shiro-sama.
I don't know.
You know?
Actually, she can only rewind a few weeks. In the next world, she should only have about 2 weeks of time. Rika Furude is gonna try and break all 3 rules in just those 3 weeks.
2 weeks.
I wanted to know what's outside the well, so I tried to claw my way up from there. I wanted to know what's outside the well, so I continued to climb even when I fell and injured myself. I finally realized the higher I climb, the more pain I feel when I fall. When my curiosity towards the world and my physical pain became equal, I finally understood the meaning of this world. Furude,
Burncastle.
it's just Burncastle. Frederica Burncastle. Chapter 7, Minagoroshi. All likenesses to real people are coincidental.
That's not true. The likeness to me and Tomatake is planned.
True.
I feel so much more confident after that opening.
Very, very cool.
I felt like a fucking jobber this entire game.